What up, everyone? Welcome back to Blade Bias. Today we're going to talk about the lowering price to performance ratio of the Balisong hobby, which is a very exciting thing to see, especially with some developments lately that have happened. The last video I talked about the Vulp and of course Artsy's design. We don't know what the price on Artsy's design is going to be, but we do know the price of the Vulp, and that is an astounding $60. Now, even if the Vulp comes out with horrendous tap and play issues and quality control isn't the best, the fact that you can get an aluminum balisong with bushings with a relatively good balance from what I've heard and from what I remember trying at Blade Show. They have changed it from the prototype, but I did try it at Blade Show and it was pretty amazing. Even if it has issues like, say, the Nautilus did, you kind of almost can't complain at a price like $60 for what you're getting. Now, granted, this is not an opportunity to say, oh, why is squid so expensive now that the Vulp exists or something like the Prysma exists. Squid gets a lot of flack for no reason. You guys have to keep in mind that they not only produce all of their own stuff in-house, but they have to pay a bunch of employees. I believe they're up to 30 or 40 now. And they have just a lot of money going into new designs and new machines and their shop and all of that. So, is squid overpriced? I see a lot of times asked in the community. No, I don't think so. I think in cases like the Nautilus, where the quality control isn't exactly there, you can make the argument. But squid as a whole makes some really good stuff for really good prices. Maybe not competitive prices in cases like, say, the Squid Trainer, but still a good price nonetheless. Anyway, we're getting off topic because the Vulp kind of made me realize that the average price of a good, like universally accepted good Balisong trainer is going down. I would say when I joined the community, the accepted price for a really reasonable good trainer or Balisong in general was around $200 or $250, and that's where you have things like the Kraken, the Kraken trainer, the Squid trainer, and things like the, oh gosh, when I started out in the community, what was there? I'm genuinely blanking right now on things that aren't squid. Like the BB Firefly was in that area. But, generally, a really good trainer was like $200-$300. And now, I would say that the average price for a really good trainer is like $120 to $150. Because in that area, you have things like the Prysma, the Vortex, the Arctic, and now the Antarctic going up at like $160, $165. It just seems like, since I've joined at least, the average price for a really good Balisong is going down. And in a hobby where people are kind of put off by the immediate price of some of these trainers, that's a really good thing. Not only does it make the hobby more accessible to newer people, but it means that more people can afford a really good high-quality flipping experience. And that is always a win in any hobby, no matter what it is. It's kind of the same thing as PCs went through a few years ago with the introduction of the 30 or the 3000 series, where you had this huge performance boost for a relatively small price increase. And it made that high-end gaming experience much more accessible to people in the entry level who didn't want to spend as much money. And of course, there's always going to be quality Balisongs at higher prices. You have things like the JK Design Orca, the Seraph, the Tsunami, the Sagaya Trainer. Of course, all things like that, which are still being made at the high level for the people who want them, for the enthusiasts. But for the newer people just getting into the hobby, there's so many good options under $160. As I said before, you've got Arctic, Vortex, Prysma, but you also have things in the sub-$100 range, like the Morse, the Tay Flipper, the Cycloid, and now the Vulp, which is huge. And hopefully later in the year, Artsy's new trainer, although we don't know what price that will be at just yet. We only know what the design looks like. But it's a really, really, really good thing to see average prices go down. and to get these high quality flipping experiences for a relatively low amount of money, especially considering the fact that I would say flipping experience is not what improves as you go up price. As Brandon and Will touched on in their Tsunami review, which they have said is outdated, but I think it's still a good thing to think about. The Tsunami doesn't flip $500 better than the Kraken trainer, or the Kraken, I should say. But it does feel $500 more premium because all of that extra cost doesn't really go into the flipping experience so much as it goes into the overall just build quality and overall experience of it. And that was one of my biggest shocks from Blade Show, is that a Prysma is pretty damn close to a Seraph, flipping-wise. Even Dalen himself said something along those lines with the Prysma and the Seraph. Because it really is. The Seraph is more expensive because it's more premium, it's better built, better materials, etc. But the Prysma is probably about 90% of the flipping experience that the Seraph is. So to have that available at such an affordable price and so often, that's another thing, is that availability is going up, with the Vulp hopefully eventually being whenever you want to purchase it you can, and the Prysma coming out with 30 every week. Not only are things getting cheaper, but they're getting more accessible. Whereas before you had to wait months for a glider drop or an NRB drop. Now you can get a Prysma, assuming you're fast enough, every week. And that's just really, really super exciting to see. We're going through a really good period in the community right now, where things are not only getting cheaper, but more accessible and just overall easier to get into. And that's amazing to see. Anyway, enough rambling about price to performance and all that stuff. Thank you guys for listening to me ramble. I will see you all in the next one. Peace.